Here, this is a driving video of our 2003 Imola Red over black Alcantara ZHP sedan. ZHP was BMW's code for the performance package. What you got for the performance package in the E46 is something that bridged the gap between the regular 330 and the M3. And importantly, for the first year of production in 2003, you could only get it in a sedan. So the ZHP was the most evolved E46 sedan you could get, unless you decided to build your own M3, which a few of us have done. With the performance package, you got your choice of a leather or Alcantara interior, Alcantara wrapped steering wheel, weighted short shifter, improved version of the M54 B30 with the performance camshaft, which I believe added about 15 horsepower, making it very similar in performance to the previous generation E36 M3. You also got tuned suspension, steering, brakes, style 135 wheels, and exclusive carbon fiber like ZHP cubed trim in aluminum or black. It's a lot of stuff. Yes. What this ZHP has beyond the normal performance pack components are H&R Sport Springs, Bilstein Sport Shocks, an Auto Solutions short shifter, Euro blind spot mirrors with convex outer portions. Why every car in America doesn't have that, I don't know. And then the most important thing that this ZHP has is a limited slip 346 differential. So that was the one thing, one area where BMW neutered the ZHP was they didn't give it a limited slip differential. This example has a brand new 346 limited slip diff that was done by the previous owner. Once we get to some farm roads, I'll demonstrate what an improvement that makes over the stock ZHP. This ZHP is wearing about 113,000 miles on the odometer and is proof of the point that a well-maintained BMW is much more important than the actual mileage. Just driving this, it's probably the most pristine and well-sorted example of a ZHP that we've had. There's no noises, there's no drivetrain vibrations, there's no flexation in the brakes. If I hands off brake on the steering wheel, it doesn't pull in any direction. Out in traffic, the nice thing about a ZHP compared to an E46 M3 is it's not quite as high strung. So, especially with the 346 limited differential in this one, the gearing's very well suited to traffic. The torque curve feels just a little bit lower in the power band or in the rev range than the S54 does. You don't quite have to rev it as exuberantly as you do in S54. Yet, there's plenty of power on tap if you want to downshift a gear or two and put it in the power band if you're going to climb a hill or you're going to pass, which I'm not going to do because there's a cop up there and I'm in a bright red BMW. But one of the most appreciative factors I've found in driving all the ZHPs I've driven is they're very well suited to the daily driving duty. They soak up traffic with I'd say a shade above level of refinement than say an E36 M3, yet they don't really compromise the driving experience that you get with any of these classic BMWs. And the E46 was probably the last BMW where you got that old school BMW driving experience. It was the last model before BMW kind of succumbed to the mass market desires that watered them down and diluted that driving experience. So red line pull, 6,800 RPM shifting, and cruising at 65 in fourth gear. I'm revving 3,800 RPMs, drop it over to 6. RPMs drop down to 2,500 RPM. In stock form, the ZHP is still a little bit prone to understeer, but this example with the H&R springs and the fixed front camber plates really dials out that understeer. So here I'm a little bit fast on entry and I'm gonna turn in, and as you can see and possibly feel, I'm not getting any understeer. I'm not getting any tire chirp. I didn't even get DSD engagement there. And that was entering that corner quite a bit faster than I probably should have if I'm adhering to the slow in, fast out adage of basic performance driving. So my overall impression of the ZHP, having driven a lot of them, is that it's one of the best all-around BMWs you can get. It's right in the middle of being in the center of the Venn diagram of driving experience, performance, reliability, cost, maintenance costs. You know, you're not doing S54 valve adjustments. You don't have rod bearing issues that S54's had. You don't have the type of M3 maintenance requirements, but you get close to the performance of that. It's not an M3, and if you expect it to be an M3, you will be disappointed. But what it is the most evolved variant of the non-M3 E46 you can get. And it's also one of the most underappreciated E46s in my opinion. Even this example, this is what I would call a top market example. The price point of this car, what you get for your money in the price point of even paying a healthy premium, which this car demands, you get so much more car for your money than you would for the beat M3 that you'd buy at this price point. It's gonna need another 4 to 10 grand to make right. And it's, in my opinion, it's just not as special. You know, an Imola Red over cloth ZHP sedan, that's a pretty special car. There weren't a lot of these made. And it's the type of car that whoever gets this car is gonna be awful proud of it. It's gonna make them smile every time they drive it, and every time they walk away from it, I guarantee they're gonna glance over their shoulder like a proud father. That's all I got.